what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag. What you see is what you get. When I look in the mirror, I'm looking like a man. Like we playing tag bad, I'm the top pick. Show them what you're working with. Break the circuit, be a hit. Go ahead and make them sit. If you gotta hate it, then your purpose is equipped. Tell them catch you later, cause you serving up some grits. Meaning hot with the drip when I drop in the mix. The proof is in the pudding. Show them how you do it. They do it like they shouldn't. You don't need to brag, cause your competition couldn't. You don't need to boast, cause the proof is in the pudding. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them that swag. Show them what you got. Show them how you get up in your bag. Show them that swag.
Oh, we're live.
I guess we are now live. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I guess what I was saying. Hey guys, I'm Jay.
This is Jay.
Yes.
I'm Brian with PhotoDay. So
yeah.
Welcome to Images Everything.
Yeah. We and Brian, we're catching up. It's like, let's go live so we can kind of catch up online. I've been doing a lot of traveling this summer, and I just went to saw my friend Justin Grafton. He's also a PhotoDay photographer, but he's in a small town, so he's kind of switching. Volume's tough out there. Economy has been tough, even after COVID. I mean, it's crazy. We talked to a lot of business owners out there, and they're the same way. Like COVID really changed a lot in that part of the country. But anyway, so he's kind of having to shift and do different types of photography. Like any small town, if you live in a town of 10,000 people, it's kind of hard to do just sports, And we're just lucky right here. I'm just situated in a part of the country where I have, if you just want to name a sport like baseball, I've got 5 leagues within 15 minutes of my house with 750 or more athletes. They're gigantic leagues.
Right.
For a small town person, it would have to, they'd have to travel all over the state to get those 5 programs.
Right.
So we're lucky. We're just situated in a spot where youth sports is a big deal in Georgia, and the part of Georgia I'm in, it's even bigger deal. It's like we're the mecca of baseball right here because we have East Cobb baseball and what do you call it? Perfect Game is
Perfect Game. I've heard of that.
Yeah, Perfect Game is like I don't think it started here, but they ended up buying the facility East Cobb, and then we also have Lake Point, which are they're national destinations for kids, and anybody knows Perfect Game. They're headquartered here, so it's like. It's a perfect situation. If you're shooting volume sports, like we're in the ideal spot.
You're in the Mecca.
Yeah, we're full though. Nobody move here and compete with me.
Right. Well, I'm going to let you take it away there, Jay.
Yeah.
You coined this phrase, "Images everything." Actually, I think it was image is king, but really, image is everything. And you've really got a good way of shooting and keeping things going. And I'm just going to let you talk about your process and how you get these gorgeous images. So,
okay,
take it away, man.
Very good, very good. Okay, hey guys. So, image is everything. So we're going to talk a lot about photography. We've done this presentation before, but I've added a few things to keep it fresh, I hope, for everybody. But basically, at smaX Photography, we're just north of Atlanta. We built our business on taking great photos. We had quick history. We had when we first entered the market, we had a lot of big companies that we were in competition with, and we just didn't have the money to compete. The only way we could really compete is by taking better photos than our competition. Fortunately, that wasn't too hard to do. The quality of photography wasn't very good. Most of the companies that we were dealing with were more fundraisers. They were just about getting a photo that was acceptable. It's all paper order forms, so it's kind of easy for them. They were able to take a photo, collect the money first, and then they would pass the photos out and hope that their images were good enough for the parents not to return the product. So we kind of came in with a different approach. We weren't doing fundraisers. We were doing images. We wanted to find leagues where they really put a priority on getting great photos. And this was really before green screen, you could do green screen, but it was before all that where it was we actually had software that really made it easy like we have now. So we're all natural backgrounds. Maybe we might do a background, but most of the time it was on the field of play. And we just decided we're going to do a great job with images and try to compete that way. And it was a way you really grow slow that way. It's easier to buy yourself in and start throwing out money, but we just couldn't do that. So we had to take photos that were so good that the parents didn't care about the rebate, or the board didn't care about the rebate. They wanted good images for their parents. And as you can imagine, there's not a lot of boards out there that are like that. They want money first. So we didn't go after those leagues. We went after the leagues that wanted good images. And thankfully, 17 years later, that is kind of what has led to really organic growth, where we keep these leagues and we're not in the game of playing rebates with another competitor. It's all about taking great photos. It's not about who can give another $5 or another $10 back to the league. We do give rebates because of just the history of it. It's just kind of a demanded thing when you're photographing 1,000 kids. Sometimes they want something back. It's just kind of the cost of doing business here. But our rebates have gone down over the years, and we really concentrate on giving everybody a great experience, and also telling the board that you don't have to worry about parents complaining about image quality. That's a big deal for them. And PhotoDay just came along, and it was perfect for us since we had already adopted a strategy of taking great photos. Then moving on to online system was easy for us, because now we have the opportunity to even sell even more great images, where the companies that were just basically doing fundraisers, they really couldn't put their photos online and sell them because they were subpar photos. They were photos that could be made with an iPhone. And if you do that, then parents see the photos before they buy, instead of the old model of paper order forms was, I'm going to collect your money first, take a very average photo, but I already have your money. I just hope you don't return it. PhotoDay has flipped the script. Now you have to take great images, and then you hope that you do a good enough job where the parents can buy. So if you really think about it, you can tell this to your leagues, like, we are basically self-regulated. If we don't do a good job, then we won't sell images. So we have to provide good images. We have to have a smooth photo day. We have to be organized and be able to have really good communication between smaX Photography and your parents. So we're self-regulated, because if we don't do a good job, we don't make money. And so, so PhotoDay was a blessing for us. We were able to really increase our average order. Our average order with paper order forms was still high. We were still in the $30+ range, but now we're in the mid-60s. So we really increased our average order. As far as participation goes, it's been going up every year. At the beginning, it was lower than we liked, but people just learning how to buy online. That was 4 or 5 years ago now. Now it's very accepted in online, and you buying with your cell phone instead of on a computer. It's just what people do now. So I feel like our participation has gone up. Our average order has stayed up. It really doesn't go down. Once you take good images, your average order is going to stay there. Year after year of these leagues, we go down, and maybe we find a little something to make our average orders go up, like we have. The buy all has been a big deal for us, and we've also added some stations, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a good strategy to increase your sales. But overall, PhotoDay's been it's been a great thing for us, because we start with good images first. So if you want to be successful, you have to make sure that you can take fantastic images, but you also have to do it really fast. You can't take your time. Okay. I'll give you some tips and tricks here as we go forward. Okay. All right. Level up your photo quality. That's what we're talking about today. All right. So, posing is a big deal for us. Lighting is good. We try to dial in our lighting. We have a pretty good system for that. However, you can get away with some bad lighting if you have a good pose. You cannot get away with good lighting, bad pose. Parents won't buy the image. So as a photographer, a volume sports photographer, we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. Okay. It's a lot of repetition, but to me, it's a good thing. It gives you opportunity to practice. It gives your photographers an opportunity to practice. But what we also do is, we're really working on our craft and making sure that we can get a look that parents can't get. And this is a good example of that. This kid is one of the friendliest kids you've ever want to meet, but we still made him look like he's a really tough ball player. Okay. And it's all about how you position the players, how you turn their heads, how they cut their eyes at you. And you really want to draw a great look out of your subjects. And I think that's what we did here. That's what we're really good at is posing the kids, giving them attitude. And then of course, be able to come back and get a good smile out of that athlete. And you want to get it all done in about 17 seconds. Okay. All right. We see here just a couple quick things here. You don't see the whole image here, but we have a good elbow here, we're not tucked in. We don't have the elbow flying out. Also, his glove on his, what would be his left arm, is away from his body. It's not tucked in like it looks like a limp noodle. And we have his little number 13 necklace, looks good. We probably could have done a little better job there on tucking his shirt in, but those little button-down shirts are sometimes difficult. So, yeah, that was a little fault that I just saw. So be detailed with that. But overall, when you look at this images, you're really drawn to his eyes and the lighting on his face. Okay, let's go over to our next image here. Okay, another baseball image. Now, this is a good example of just being a photographer. Okay, like I said, we do it. We have rules. We have standards at smaX Photography, but we always can break those rules as long as the core images are within our standard. Then you can kind of, be a little bit more creative in some situations. And when I took this photo of this girl, she was just holding the ball. I don't have a pose where they're holding the ball like this, but she just looked good. She looked very natural. She had her, she had her hip popped, and she was just holding the ball right there, ready for me to take a photo. And I'm just like, don't move. Like typically we're gonna have straighter hips. The ball's gonna be on the side of the leg, but she looked so good that I just left it there. And that's something that you can really, as you're watching your athletes as they're standing in line or they're getting ready for a team photo, a lot of times you can see just the way they're standing. They look very natural, and we get a lot of poses that way. Just don't move. You look fantastic just like that. So that was how I got that pose. Now, as far as the look on her face, as you can see, that's right in between a smile and a game face, which is just a smirk. It's a great smirk. It's a great look. And again, that's something that mom and dad really have a difficult time drawing out of their athletes. Okay. All right. This is a big soccer league we have out of Nashville, Tennessee. When we go shoot them, it's about 130 teams. It's a really long day. We have to be quick because it's just so many athletes. We have a lot of buddy photos in here. But you see, this is a soccer photo. This is typically, we give the options for all the athletes and what they want to do. Everybody gets one pose, and we're going to go over that in just a second. And we'll go through progressions. But with this is a good one for soccer because you can get a full body, half body, smiles, and game face. Only thing with soccer is if you have a pose where the athlete's going to have their foot on the ball, we call it the Captain Morgan pose. If you have that pose, you really can't get a half body photo because it doesn't make any sense because the ball's on the ground. So this pose works out really well because we can do all our progressions, which I'll show you in a minute. Again, this athlete, he has a great game face. I'm sure we have a smile in there as well. But again, it's just really concentrating on getting some good attitude on those game faces, okay? Which I think we succeeded there. Okay, volleyball. This has become one of our biggest sports, girls volleyball in Atlanta. We've got some really big leagues. This is just a high school we do their photos each year, and I just vary it up with the net. Sometimes I shoot straight at the net. Sometimes we shoot at an angle. Sometimes we put the caddy of balls. I'm not sure what you call it, just the big basket of volleyballs in the background. We light that up. So a lot of different things we can do here. But I think the biggest tip I would have for you for being indoors is a hair light. Okay, so you can see that right there on this photo. If we don't have that hair light, darker haired athletes, their hair could just go away sometimes. Okay, and all you see is black. So if you're doing black backgrounds, which a lot of times with volume sports, we have to do that because you have a terrible cinder block wall, or there's, it's a PE room with all kind of, the kids' posters and things like that on the back wall. So we want everything to go black. But if you're going to do that, you have to have a hair light, okay? If you had two lights, one of them needs to be a hair light, okay? You have your main light and you have the hair light. It's really difficult to do anything low-key photos where you're having very dark backgrounds without that separation. So I don't think I wouldn't even – you see we have a strip box there. You can see the right down her arm we have that light. So I have a strip box and a hair light. But if I only had two lights, I would use hair light. I wouldn't worry about the strip, okay? It would be the opposite. I wouldn't do strip and main light. I would do strip and hair light, okay? It's just going to really separate. Like I said, if you get dark hair, it looks like they have nothing but a forehead there, and that's a really bad mistake. It looks amateur, okay? We want to look pro, all right? We are not out for absolute perfection, but we definitely want to be pro, all right? Something you guys really need to remember. Not perfection, but we want to be pro. All right. So how we do this is what we do at smaX Photography is kind of right when we started using PhotoDay, one of their mantras is inventory is is inventory. Images everything. Inventory is everything as well. Offering your parents a lot of images to choose from. Okay. Now, that's what we want to do. We want to offer more images for them to choose from. However, we're constrained. We have these gigantic leagues, and we can't take 45 minutes for a team. Okay, we have to do 10 minutes per team a lot of times, and that includes, buddy shots and multiple expressions. So, but if we did multiple poses, there'd be no way to get done in 10 minutes for a baseball team with 12 kids and 5 or 6 buddy shots. That's a lot of images. There's no way we'd get done. So what we use is called progressions. All right. So not poses, but progressions. So you're going to get different looks. All right. So let me go over to a video here, and I'm going to show you how we do this. Let's see the next photo. Okay. Let me give you an example of what the progressions look like here. Now, this is not exactly in order. The way it would go from top right here. I would go full body. Then I'd go to half body. I'd zoom in. Half body portrait. All right, so got full body portrait, half body portrait. Then I turn the camera sideways, and I get half body landscape. And what I really try to do is really zoom in there, okay, so I can see the eyes, okay. Then I'm going to go. I'm sorry, I think I'm missing one here. Okay, so actually from the left here is where we would start. All right, that was in order. Sorry, my bad. All right, we do a full body, and this is a half body. I'm not quite sure why the full body's not in there. This would be half body. Then we go half body landscape, and then full body from the ground. So from the image to the left here to the image to the right, this is from the eye. We're sitting on the ground, but this is from the eye. And then the photo on the right, top right here, that's from the ground. We actually put the camera on the ground. So it's an entirely different look. As you can see here, we have trees in the background. Over here, we have nothing but sky in the background. It's the same pose, but we get different looks for the athletes, okay? All right, then this athlete had a brother. So we slide the brother in, okay? We have this image right here, right in the middle. And then we're going to go with dad. So dad comes in, and this is from the eye, and then we give a different look over here on the right, and that's clouds in the sky. So you can see, again, the photos on the left look completely different from the photos on the right because one is from here and the other one is from the ground, okay? So you got progressions. All right, we're not doing different poses. If you get stuck and wanting to do, I want to do 2. I see a lot of photographers, we're doing 2 or 3 poses per athlete. You just don't have that kind of time on big leagues. Now, if you just have 1, 2, 4 teams and you're scheduling them out 30 minutes a team, yeah, you can absolutely do that. But we're always trying to juggle being fast and efficient and taking quality images. And there's no way to have quality images by doing multiple poses. The other thing is you're just spread thin. If you're doing multiple poses, you're requiring your assistant to change the athlete up in these different poses. My thought is just get one really good, just nail one really good pose. Okay, just nail it, keep the athlete there, and then take a bunch of photos really fast so they don't move. Okay, giving them clear instructions from the camera so they know whether they're smiling or they're game face. And if you're making any adjustments as you're taking photos, they have to be quick, easy adjustments from the camera. Okay, so let me go over to a video here and kind of show you how we do this. All right, let's see here, videos. Okay. Bring that shoulder down. Is it playing? Let me start over real quick. Give me 1 second. I'm having a problem with that video. Okay.
Not
Okay.
for
Oh,
the
wrong
first
one.
big shoot of the year. It's basketball.
We'll just watch this video.
One
This
of
here
it's
is,
the biggest league in Georgia. One of the biggest rec programs in the country. We got some hair lights going up there. You can see all the gear involved. A lot of stuff. Big staff. Starting at 9 a.m. We'll finish at 9 p.m. This league has, it's got 550 teams, over 4,000.
okay, so that league actually had 550 teams, 400 players, a lot of gear. So you can see there we have really big shoots. Okay, so we don't have time. That many teams, there's no way you're doing multiple poses, so you have to do progressions. Now, let me go back over here, and we'll do this video here. This is
Bring that shoulder down.
Same league.
Touch. There it is. Don't move your shoulders. Don't move your shoulders. Head down, touch. Don't tilt your head like this. There it is. Don't move. Give me one smile. Game face. One more. Don't move. Eyes here.
Okay. So you see there, that was what we do. Those are our progressions that we did. Okay. Get back on our slides. Okay. So those are all the different progressions. So I did full body, half body, turn the camera sideways, did landscape. Then I went from the ground, full body, half body. Then I also flipped it over on the ground, did that landscape full body from the ground, which I love. That's my favorite photos, but you can't always get that just because the way the lights are set up. You have taller athletes. It's a whole thing. But if you can get that image with smaller athletes, especially, they turn out really well. Okay. So the way we're handling the camera, we call it camera handles. And it's really important because you have to get really good at it so you can have that speed, so you can stack up those teams. So with that particular league, we had 3 individual photographers all shooting a team in 6 or 7 minutes apiece. So we can really move a lot of athletes through there because everybody knows how to operate that camera. We discuss what our progressions are before the shoot. Say, okay, how are we going to shoot today? And we go over it, we agree on it. So that way everybody's photos are very consistent. Okay. That full body, half body, turn sideways, half body. Then we'll go from the ground, full body, half body. So we get that and we do it over and over again and we get really good at it. One other thing I like to point out to you in that video, and I might play it for you one more time here just to show it, is that I don't take a photo till I have that athlete in just the right position. If my assistant hasn't posed them perfectly, then I make the adjustments from the camera before I start taking photos. What you don't want to do is take a photo and then make an adjustment. Move your head this way just a little bit, because then the athlete could just fall apart, especially if you have young athletes. You want to make the big major adjustments to their posture or to their head tilt. You want to make those adjustments before you take the first photo. Then once you have them in just the right spot, then you start firing away as fast as you can. So that way they don't move. And you might have to make a slight adjustment here or there. A lot of times what I'll do is, I might have them tilt their head down a little bit more to get a little bit more intimidating, but maybe I don't want to start there. Maybe I want to take the first few photos, be a safe photo, but this athlete looks like they could give me a whole lot of attitude. So I might turn their head one way or another. And that's part of being a photographer, is like really recognizing what your athlete can do. Can this athlete really pay attention to everything I'm saying? So that way maybe I can get a little bit more creative in my instructions. Or is this athlete barely hanging on? Like they are not going to be able, they can't pay attention for 3 seconds, much less the 17 seconds that it requires to go through the progression. So I'm not going to move them at all. If I get 2 good photos of this athlete, we're good to go. Okay. So you have to make that determination pretty quick as a photographer. And that's why these reps are good. You do it over and over and over again. So you can start identifying which athletes you're going to be able to get creative with. Okay. So after that, I do want to show you, let's look at that video one more time. You can see I'm going to make the adjustments before I start taking the photos. And any instructions I have after that are very quick. And what you also see is I do have a misfire. I took one photo with a flash that didn't fire. Those of you who are not using mirrorless cameras, you have to use a mirrorless camera if you're going to shoot like this, okay? Number one, I can see the image as soon as I take it, so I can move to the next photo. Number two, the autofocusing is fantastic, so I can move from my eye to the ground, and I can just pick up focus just like that. Okay. And lastly, as you see the way the screens articulate, I couldn't do that with DSLRs. There wasn't a DSLR that I could move that screen out to the side, put the camera on the ground, and have a really clear view of my subject to take that photo. So we'll watch that one more time. Bring that shoulder down just a touch. There it is. Don't move your shoulders. Don't move your shoulders. Head down, touch. Don't tilt your head like this. There it is. Don't move. Give me one smile. Game face. One more. Don't move. Eyes here. Stay. Okay. So you can see there, I made a few adjustments as we were going. Let's see here. Start. And you just got to be quick, have really good instructions to your athletes. I made the first few adjustments before I took the first photo. And as soon as we had the athlete right where we want them, that's when we started taking photos really quick. And I made a little quick one after that. That was easy to do. Okay. All right. Okay. This is another big one that we do is a lot of cheer. And again, A quick way to make a difference here, of course, we do a lot of buddy photos, as you see here. Another way is just a fun pose. Okay, so if you want to offer multiple poses, you have the athlete pick the first pose. It's a static pose. Then they can have a fun pose. They can do whatever they want. Okay, and that's really easy to do because you're not really wanting them in a specific position, which you know is going to be good photo to sell. They can just have fun with it. Okay, so that's what we do with cheer a lot. So we see here, I probably started with this full body photo right here in the middle. Then I went over to the right there. That is a half body. Then I did landscape over here. And then we did a fun pose. Okay, so the athlete can do what they want to do. And then mom slid in and we did a couple poses here with the mom. Okay. Again, that was a really quick one. We probably took, with the buddy photo, maybe 25 seconds to get those images done. But the fun pose is something really good you can throw in there for your athletes if you want to mix it up. If you did want to do multiple poses, a fun pose is a way to really do it to where you can be fast and efficient. Okay. Another cheer. Now this is a smaller program. Okay. So I'm pretty flexible. I remember this shoot, I did a big program in the morning and I did this shoot in the afternoon. We had the athlete, we start with a standard cheer pose. So they're just going to have hands on hips. They're popping their front leg. And then we gave them the option to do another pose after that. And a lot of the girls like to go on the ground there. So we did a nice use of props there. Again, we just want to make sure they have really good posture. If anything, I'm looking at this image, the bottom left here. What you really want to make sure of is that when you're shooting cheerleaders that you don't have any open skirts right in front of the camera, okay? They have to stack their legs, turn it at angles so that way we don't ever want to be looking straight up skirts, okay? So be real careful with that. And again, we just props are great. You know, we have two sets of palms here in their hands on the ground and then, you know, turning the megaphone just right. Just, you know, the little details that you need to make sure that the parents are going to love the photos, okay? All right. Another kind of creative way, we have another situation here where we're doing multiple pose. We don't do that a lot, but there's some good examples for you here, okay? All right, so this is a middle school program, and they want to do everything indoors. And I started doing it in a stinky locker room, and it was so awful that I convinced them to go over to the weight room. So it's a lot of fun, but again, it's 3 teams, so we have a little over 100 athletes, and we got to get done really quick. They're middle school kids, so it's not it's difficult to pose as youth with 3-year-olds, 8-year-olds. So basically, we just keep the helmet right in the same place. We do standing and sitting. And those are our 2 poses that we offered the athletes. And you throw blue gel in there, and it turns out to look fantastic. And again, you can see I have hair light right there, okay? I won't do those low-key photos without the hair light, all right? Okay, let's see here. We're going to go over to – all right, before we get here, I want to show you guys, a league that we do when we're talking about doing great images and having to do them fast, okay? Let's see if I can share my screen with you. It's another good example for you guys to take a look at. Okay. All right. So this is a gigantic league that we have in North Georgia, 100+ teams. Beautiful facility. This is the spring. They have all turf fields anyway, so the green grass is not a big deal. We want to set the athletes facing north as much as we can. This is a very long shoot. But as you can see here, we'll look at our progressions here. This is an actual shoot, and this is so busy. All right, this is a shoot to where as soon as we start, we are slammed for hours and hours and hours. And, it doesn't really – following the camera handles, your progressions, your posers, your assistants, making sure that they're on point, they're standing where they're supposed to stand, they're communicating the way they need to communicate. There's a lot to it, a lot behind the scenes. And this is one of those shoots where we put all those things into practice. It's easy when we have, a relaxed shoot, we're only, 100 kids or something like that, and we have time that we can do extra fun stuff with them. This is not one of those shoots. This is one of those shoots that as soon as we start, we do not stop. And it is every team we have usually had 10 minutes. I think this is 10 minutes per team. So we have to move fast. And this particular league, we do buddy photos for all the coaches. So it's a lot of buddy photos. So all of our training is used to be speed and quality here. So let's see here. Let's go. All right. So as you see here, we have full body from the eye, half body. Then we turn it sideways. Okay. And these are straight out of the camera. There's been no straightening or anything like this. This is straight out of Lightroom. Then we go full body from the ground. Okay. Like I said, I haven't straightened this yet. So I shot a little bit crooked, looks like. All right. Now, what I did here is smile. Okay. And then we went game face. Now, that's kind of optional. It just depends on, like, he's young to be able to do the game face, but he pulled it off great. And you have to be, again, you have to be a photographer. You have to decide whether smile or game face is going to look better on that athlete really quick. And once you make that decision, if smile looks better, then you do more smiles. If game face looks better, then you have to do more game face. It just depends on the athlete. So it's your job to take the best photos possible so that way you can sell. All right. So you have to make that determination really quick. So he did a great job here on his game face. So I took a couple photos there. So you can see we went full body, half body, landscape, half body. We zoomed in, and then he had a great game face. We did full body, half body. Okay. You see all those images are really different. Okay. They have really different feel to them. I mean, to me, like that different photo and that different, completely different. All right. Now he's got a dad there. So we have to put him in there. Two of them real quick. Next athlete. Okay. So we allow the athletes, we give them the poses right ahead of time, and they just choose what pose they want. We keep the poses limited. Okay. We don't have a pose chart with 20 different poses on there. Okay. We're limited because we're doing volume and we're doing it fast. So we choose poses that we know that we're going to be successful with and they can move fast. Okay. That's just the way you have to do it. If you offer a bunch of different poses, that's going to require your assistants to be, learn all those poses and all those little points of performance. There's lots of little details in posing that you have to make sure that you follow in order to have great images. So the more poses that you offer, the more difficult it is to stay consistent with great images. Okay. So we limit the poses. We might have 3 or 4 that we don't even have pose charts. We tell them, hey, this is what you're going to do, and watch your teammates as they come up. So that way you'll know what to do when it's your turn. Okay. All right. So we got full body, half body, game face, not so good. So I went straight back to smile. All right. If his game face was good, I would have done more game face, but it needs some work. So we went straight back to smile. All right, that game face is a little bit better. We went from the ground. All right, and then a half body. All right. Okay, so now we have little guy here. See, I already messed up here. You see, I have left pant leg is up, other one's down. I know I'm working fast if I missed that. All right. So we got full body, half body, landscape. There we go. That's the photo right there. That one's awesome. He looks like a mess, but it looks pretty good. All right. Okay, then we got, I missed that one. It looks like he's not looking at the camera. All right. But we got a bunch of good images in here. So I'm not concerned. If I missed one, again, we can't be perfect in this situation. All right. We can't be perfect, but we definitely want to look pro. All right. So we had dad sitting there. So this is, I think, the brother back there. Okay. Yeah. It's the brother. So we had a buddy shot there, and dad hopped in for that buddy shot. All right. So we did a smile, did a game face. See, all we did is switch the camera angles. That's from the eye. That's from the ground. And the expressions on their face, totally different. All right. So I want them to want to hit that by all. I want them to hit by all. Okay. All right. Next player. Unfortunately, this looks like a lefty. Typically, I have the kids angled at this side because I want them to have the bat on their other shoulder. He's a lefty. You can put a baseball in their hand to solve those hands going across the jersey like that. But again, I'm showing you an example of a league that we were in full tilt mode. Okay. So I didn't have much time to switch things. All right, so we got full body, half body landscape. We have to work on that game face a little bit. Pretty good, all right? Full body, half body. All right, so I threw another smile in there. So obviously I wasn't crazy about this game face, so I put another smile in there, okay? All right, here we go. All right, so then another buddy photo, okay? So as I'm taking the photos, I'm looking to see, I see a kid with a different uniform on because we bring everybody up as a team. So I know that I have a buddy photo coming, so I have to make sure that my assistant's aware, and I change my camera settings as well, okay? All right, so he wasn't quite ready. There we go. All right, then dad comes in. All right, so that's a bunch of photos. All right, so we got from the eye, from the ground. All right, not crazy about my guy on the left, but it's still good photo, sellable. All right, full body. There we go, and we go from the ground. All right. Okay, so that's a good kind of example. I just kind of want to show you guys what that looks like. Now, we went through all these images. As you can see, This is one team. Okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like we had 7, 8 buddy photos. Okay. So we look like we had about 12 players and 8 buddy photos. Okay. That is moving. These are smaller kids. These are not, this is probably 5, 6-year-old. And so my first photo we took here at, I think my metadata will say over here, 1246. Okay. 1246 is when I started that. Okay. Now I'll go down to the bottom. My last photo is at 1259. Okay. So I had 7 or 8 buddy photos and I had 12 athletes. That's, what is that? 19 or 20 different portraits we had to make, and we got it done in 13 minutes. Okay. And we did that all day long. So you have to be able to combine great photos, great posing, great lighting, and still be fast. Okay. And that's just going to be, like I said, getting your progressions down, having your systems working well, easy poses. You can't get too crazy with these poses. Okay. And that way you can shoot these huge leagues and be really fast and efficient. All right. Okay. Let's see. Stop. Give me 1 second.
While you're doing that, you've got a couple questions in here about neutral density filter. What's SS? I think that's secret sauce, or I don't know. What's the ND filter? Talk about the variable ND you're using and how that helps.
Okay. Okay. Variable ND filter. We don't use high speed sync. The high speed sync is kind of a nightmare. We start when Godox. That's why I switched over to Godox, is because it's like, I'm going to use a high speed sync. Well, I found out on the first shoot, number 1, recycle time is really slow. All right. Number 2, you have a lot of misfires. Number 3, you don't have the power output that you do. The power, because it's just firing a bunch of flashes at one time. I'm not real technical, but I just know that's what happens. I don't have as much power. Okay. So we went to a variable ND filter. So I have a 1 to 5 stop is what I like to use. And I use the NISI, NISI. That's my favorite one. But we've used Peter McKinnon. We've used Freewell, B&W. I've used so many different ND filters. There's a color shift in all of them between landscape and portrait. And a lot of times it has to do with like which lens it is and how it's like, how much you tighten it. Like there's a lot of little variables, and it's not going to be as consistent as you would have it if there's no ND filter at all. But for us, that's the best solution right now. I know that Sony is coming out with, they have a global shutter, and that works. I know Jerry Hughes is using it, and it works for him, but we're just not ready. I'm not ready to switch all my gear over to Sony. Number 1, that would be very expensive. And number 2, I'm not quite sure. I think there's some things that have to be adjusted on the camera that I would trust myself to do, but I really wouldn't expect some of my other photographers to know how to really dial in, how to make sure that all the lights fire. So variable ND filter is very important. Like I said, you're going to have some color shifts, meaning the sky's going to look different colors from landscape to portrait. And I think this was brought up in PhotoDay users, was it not, Brian?
Yeah, I think so at one point.
Yeah. And a photographer did a great job. I mean, the photos look beautiful. It's just one photo, the sky was a little darker, different shade of blue than the other. And that's where you just have to not get stuck. I mean, if the photo looks great, the subject looks great, you just got to go with it. I mean, it's of course, like I said, you want perfection, but you're not going to get it in volume sports. Okay. You have to have sellable images that look fantastic. But if you're looking to get like everything dialed in perfectly, you're just going to paralyze you. You're going to try to get it so perfect that you're not going to be able to move. You're not going to be able to do anything. Just get great images, great posing, provide a good experience, and move on. Don't worry about it getting every photo absolutely perfect. Anything else, Brian?
No, I think that's it. We're just chatting about neutral density filters and the fact that I'm a nerd and couldn't figure out what SS stood for, and it's shutter speed. So,
Oh, yeah, shutter speed. Yeah. So I'm not shooting a high speed sync. So the shutter speed is going to be 250 or below, depending on your camera brand. So you're all the regular numbers. We like to shoot 2.8 most of the time, just because we have bad backgrounds and it looks good. But I'm not a stickler to that. If you want to shoot it 5,
you make a whole lot of bad things disappear at 2.8, right?
Yes, you can. And if there's something that you need to knock out of the background, it's a whole lot easier to get rid of a blur, just a little blur, than something that's really defined. So that really works for us.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, I guess I threw a couple little group photos in here. We do a lot of these senior banners. Again, I wanted to show you guys like it's these how important this hair light is. Okay, I have a light boomed over top of the athlete, and I have a hair light in the back there, so you can see what that image actually looked like. It's funny because I just did a pullback because I really love the images, but I actually ended up selling a lot of the photo on the bottom right there, where had all the soft boxes included. So that's what's fun about doing older athletes that will stay still. You can do some really cool stuff, and don't be afraid to get a little bit creative and do a pullback and include the soft boxes in your gear if it looks good. And I think that photo turned out just right. I got a little a lens flare there, a little starburst from those lights. And totally didn't do that on purpose. It was just a happy accident. And I think the photo that was like one of my favorite basketball photos I did that year. It was really cool. All right, let's see here. Okay, gymnastics. This is a big one for us. We do a lot of gymnastics. And we want to, this is a good example of trying to kind of maximize sales by providing a different station. So if you are in a place where gymnastics is kind of tough because you have one mat and we can have up to 300 girls, so we have to space it out a little bit. But we also can add another station, and that helps. Again, we want to hit the athletes, the parents who use that buy all. So we want to give them enough photos where they just want to buy everything. And usually what I do is I start with the sitting pose. You see those first two, or the top left and the bottom right is a sitting pose. Then I do a standing pose, and then we do a profile photo. Okay, that profile photo ends up being very dramatic. Again, just gives the parents some different options. Okay, so it's a good idea if you want to increase your sales when it comes to gymnastics or a sport where you have a little more time, or you schedule it out a little bit longer, to offer a whole different. We do a whole different station, so we have two photographers in the situation. If you have enough lights and if you have enough photographers, it's a really good idea in order to increase your sales. Okay, all right, let's look over. Okay, team photos. Now, for me, team photos, we want the team photos to be good. Of course, we want it to look pro. All right. But parents buy individual photos. All right. So I'm not putting my most talented photographers on the team photo. I want them to be good. But again, most of our resources are going towards that individual photo. The team photo is kind of a reference. And you want to look good, but it's not where we're going to put all the talent. All right. So we basically stack everybody. That's just stacking in windows. All right. Especially for rec. As you can see there, there's a lot of kids here. We got 4, 7, it's 11 kids, 4 coaches. All right. So we just make sure that we have everybody stacked in windows. And those benches that you see there are from Group Photographer Supply. Andy, he's a great guy. They're hard to get that product sometimes. So if you need it, you need to order it way ahead of time. Okay. And you have to pester them a little bit to make sure that you get it as quickly as possible. Right? Andy's a great guy. But he's made people are asking about these stands all the time. Andy has made a move, so he's a little bit out of sorts right now. But if you can get his risers, the GPS risers, they're the best. Okay, so we use two smalls, the 12-inch risers and a 17-inch riser for baseball. Works out great. Okay, so you see we stacked them. We're shooting. This is probably shooting at 2.8, between 2.8 and f4. All right. So when you do this, you have to back way up and zoom in. All right. So it's a little bit of a disadvantage if you do this because you're far away from little kids. You have to run back and forth unless you have an assistant, of course. But we're really quick. We do smiles, then we do a game face, and then we do a silly photo. All right. And that we do it. First 2 photos are smiles, second 2 game face, last photo is a silly photo. And what I like about this is we did shoot at 2.8 and I have 2 edge lights. So I think I have 4 lights total, 2 in the front and 2 on the sides, zooming in at 2.8 so it looks professional. Okay. I'm not super close. I don't want to get, within 10 feet of my group shot. I want to be backed up, zoomed in. I just the look that we prefer. It kind of matches our individual photos. So that's how we do our team photos. The only thing about team photos is you really can't control the light. We don't have big enough scrims, so a lot of times we'll set the athletes up where they're facing north as much as possible, or facing east or west depending on the time of day, and we might have to rotate that team photo a little bit throughout the day to make sure the sun isn't directly in people's faces. So that's pretty much the only thing you can do with group photos is rotate just a bit. All right. Okay, let's see here. Go to our next frame. Oh, we're there.
You're done, dude.
We're there.
You whipped through it. I got a question from Paul about tricks on ensuring your camera focus when you're set up on an ND filter on 3, 4, even 5 stops of density.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do I have problems with camera focus? On occasion, I'll have problems with camera focus. Mostly it's indoor because I will shoot with an ND filter inside.
Yeah, I've done it too.
If you have to, if you want to shoot at 2.8 and you have some ambient coming in or whatever, you might have to throw the ND filter on. That's the only time I've really had problems with ND filters not focusing. But outside, we've been good to go. Like I haven't had any, and that's part of having mirrorless cameras too, right? If you had DSLR, is next. I mean, you could, but it was really difficult to nail your focus. Yeah. But with the mirrorless cameras, you can get in there pretty good. And I mean, I rarely shoot at 5 stops. Sometimes we have to if it's super, middle of the day. But usually I try to stay like at 4 stops. But yeah, look, sometimes you have to do it. And again, that's a good reason why you need a really powerful light. Okay. So if you're going to do this style of photography, you're going to do it outside, the minimum you're going to have is a Westcott 800. If you get the Westcott 800 or you get the 1200 watt from Godox, those are the 2 lights we use outside. 600, it'll work. 400, I just don't think is doable.
You were talking about you started out with Godox and you moved over to Westcott now, haven't you?
No. I'm not at Westcott yet. I want to be Westcott. Yeah. Westcott has stateside support, and those guys are fantastic. I mean, they're really trying hard. But they're just not. The transmitter is what's holding me back from Westcott.
It's a little buggy. Yeah.
It's a little clunky, and Godox has like 15 transmitters.
Right. So keep coming out with new transmitters every day.
Yeah, I mean it's ridiculous how much they're coming out with. So, I'm not with Westcott yet, but I use them a lot because I'm trying to give them feedback, and like what needs to improve. And it's really the thing holding me back is the transmitter. They do have a universal battery, which is amazing. They're 400, 800 take the same battery. The 800 battery doesn't last quite as long as the 1200 battery from Godox. But the Godox batteries, it's a different light.
Right.
The Westcott's a mono block, and then the Godox is a pack and a head. So there's going to be some advantages and disadvantages to that, just depending on what your opinion is. But I think it's a fantastic light and stateside support. It's a lot easier for your camera stores to deal with Westcott rather than Godox. So.
Absolutely. I've had conversations with my local one here, and they're like, "Yeah, we'd rather sell Westcott than Godox stuff." So
yeah, absolutely. I remember what I forgot. I was going to show some. Travel programs.
Cool. In the midst of that,
yes,
got another question for you. How do you sync your camera files if you have a separate photographer and camera taking the team photo?
We do. We write our image numbers down. It's just been the easiest way for us to do it. So we get a team sheet, and if it's the Braves, for example, I might shoot image 112 to 200 is the Braves, and then the team photographer same way. They're just going to have the same sheet, write the image numbers down, and we bring it back into Lightroom. We have every camera has a separate folder inside of Lightroom. So Jay's camera will have we'll go through there and we'll tag in Lightroom. So we'll just look at those 100 images and we'll tag those all with 6U Braves.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Team camera, same thing. 6U Braves.
Still having to do a little bit of manual tracking.
Yes. Okay. We do still a little manual tracking. I know there's a guy that's using what is that? There's a program that all the sports photographers use.
Oh, is that GF Crew?
No. It's the one that's the ingest product. Camera bits.
Yeah, that's Photomechanic.
Okay, yeah. And there's a way to do it, but you have to go in there and create some CSV. It's Brian Durinsky style stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of data.
Yeah,
right. It's a lot of data.
And it's just like we're shooting. I mean, August we're shooting like I don't know. We have 3 shoots every Saturday and Sunday, like for all of August, and then we're filled up during the week. So it's like there's no way we'll be able to keep up with doing that. It's just easier to have a sheet of paper, write it down, and tag it afterwards. It's just sometimes technology is great, but sometimes it'll slow you down in certain situations.
It can. Yeah,
I just feel like that's like if I had somebody at the office that was their only job was to make sure our memory cards were ready and all the file folders and all were in sync, then I'd do it. But I'm just, I'm not going to do that.
Right. But in general, if you're doing mostly, well, I think you're doing all public galleries, right? So
yeah, very few. Like the gymnastics might be private. Yeah.
Yeah, but parents could use FaceFind to find their team photo as well as their other kid photo. So
correct.
Sibling photos. So it comes down to the simplicity of the fact that PhotoDay's got a solution already built in for them to locate those images pretty well. So
yes, exactly.
You're not tagging the images. You're not using the tagging system at all, or are you tagging in the gallery?
We tag in Lightroom, but of course we forget sometimes, and we upload to PhotoDay, so we have to use the tagging feature in PhotoDay. I don't mind the tagging feature in PhotoDay either. Sure. That works just fine. So, but it saved a little bit of time, I think, by tagging everything in Lightroom and uploading, and everything's just then everything's tagged and ready to go.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's see. One more is Keely, since he doesn't do composites at all, converting leagues from composites is probably an easy move for him since it's not something he does, right? You don't do what I do, which is composite mostly. So.
Oh, was it a question like how do you move leagues?
How do you move a league off of doing composites?
That's another thing where it's like when you have a look that you have up on social media, and people want that look,
right?
Then then they have to provide you with the facilities that you can make that look happen. Now, the good thing about doing natural backgrounds is you don't need. I mean, I just need a sliver. Just give me a sliver. I've shot right beside a trash can before. You know what I'm saying, on a hill, and made it look good. You don't need that much space. You just need like a fence and some trees. You don't need that much to make it look good. And it's the way I would sell now. We do composite banner, baseball banner, travel banners all the time. So I'm in no means against composites, especially like if you have a bad weather place, you have to be able to do the green screen composites. You have to be able to do both. But as far as we go, we're in the South, so we have a little bit warmer weather. We use backgrounds indoors. Yeah. If we have to, if we're at inclement weather. And so you have to be good at that. So that's something that we're good at. But if you want to move somebody off of composites, it's just not necessarily have to talk down a composite. It's more like this is a timeless image. This is on the field of play. This photo it'll look good today and it's going to look good 20 years from now. And sometimes composites don't do that. Sometimes that design looks really good today, but that look is tired 5 years from now.
Unless you're Paul Alessi, who's mastered the art of composite on natural field. So, yeah. Correct.
Yeah. And that's, and that, to be honest, like we could do it maybe, but it's just like, he's got a really good skill at it. And it's just like, that's his lane. And if you want to go down that lane, then that's good. But we're just, we're not set up for that. So we're like, we are just really good at shooting a lot of athletes fast. Big leagues is our, that's where our bread and butter is. And that's on natural backgrounds. That's kind of that's our gig. That's where we're going to stay. But like I said, photographers have different situations throughout the entire country. So I'm not knocking composites. If you can make them look good, just for us, it just doesn't work.
A couple more quick questions on your team shots. Kelly's asking, are you using single point focus and centering on the front kid? You centering on the middle kid? What's your focal, deal there? And then second one to kind of go along with that is how many lights are in front of the team? You got one in center, you got two on each edge, and it looks like you've got something coming from behind.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of got me there. So it's just single focus. Yeah. Right there. Yep. But that was a 4 light setup. So, I'm not expecting everybody to do 4 lights for most of the time. Our team setups are for our 2 lights, but, with our big leagues that we make a lot of money on, we try to do a little something extra. So I did have 2 lights in front and 2 lights in back. So it's, not every photographer has that many lights. We're fortunate because that big basketball league that I showed you at the beginning of the shoot.
Yep.
We have to buy so many lights because every line has to have 5 lights. So we have 4 lines. That's 20. Then 2 team lines. So we have, we're talking about mid-20s in lights, and then your backups. So we have a lot of lights. So when we come to outdoor shoots, we're like, well, might as well. We have, you know what I mean? So we can do it, but you can't always pull that off.
You need a trailer just to haul all the batteries for those things, man.
Yeah. We just bought our second Sprinter. So that is a big setup, but to me, it's worth doing if you have a big league and you want the photos look great. It's worth setting up extra lights for. That's just my opinion, but I know a lot of people don't have that many lights to spare. But if you do, why not use them? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, get the little extra, and give a little bit extra punch to it, just make it stand out.
When you buy extra lights, okay, if you have a big league and you buy extra lights, you're doing something creative. They always pay for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm not scared of investing in lights, because I'm going to do something cool with them and they're going to pay for themselves within a couple of jobs, So that's just my philosophy on it. But, everybody has their opinions. All right, let's see. Okay. So one thing I wanted to share with you guys a little bit different than last time we did this is we've been doing a lot of travel programs. And again, we have a lot of lights, so we're going to take advantage of those, setting up stations. So we still do our same progressions, but then we add a station in order to make it special. So a lot of times this works for a big league that we have here down the road. Again, a big money maker for a rec program. Then a few weeks later, we have to shoot all-stars. All right. So you still want to be able to sell them something. And, they have but you just took their photos a month ago or 6 weeks ago. So you still want to provide them something different. So sometimes parents just wait for the all-star photos because they like those uniforms better. But for those who want to buy both, we offer the traditional photos with the full progressions, and then we go to a more dramatic style. Okay. Now, just the Rocktown Media and the Brad Deals of the world are, kind of forcing our hand a little bit and doing some more creative things, which is good. But they're not volume photographers in the sense that we are, is where you're doing thousands of athletes in a day. They're doing smaller, more money per head. It's kind of like medium, like small volume, not quite volume. You're not talking about thousands of kids, but you can take away what they're doing and try to do a little bit what they're doing, which is very trendy, and pull it over to your volume side, but you just can't do the full thing, whereas they might move lights. Let's see. There we go. They might move lights on every shot, every different pose. And we just can't do that as volume photographers. You got to set up your station and then go with it. So you're just kind of using them as a concept and taking their concepts, which they're very creative in what they do, and try to move it over into our world. So that way you still stay relevant. And you can hopefully make some extra money. All right. So this is what we decided to do. We started opening up a separate line. And these are just some photos I took of the athletes. And what I did here is, again, we're talking about time. We're trying to get these teams in and out. This is all-star team, but all-star program, but they still had like 16 teams, and we did it on a weeknight. So we had to move pretty quick because we were moving from a team station to an individual station to another individual station. And so what I do on these photos, I just include a little bit of smoke. All right. Let's see if I take the filters off here so we can see. What I would do is I basically take a test photo of each athlete, and then I would go with the smoke. So let's see. I think I was fortunate here that the smoke kind of lingered. Okay. But what I do with these athletes is I really try to get their pose perfect. All right. So I'm not doing progressions here. All I'm trying to do is get their look perfect. All right. So you see, I take a couple of test shots here, and then I put some smoke on them. Okay. There's the smoke there. Smoke showed up some images better than others. That looks really good. Again, this is right out of the camera, so we put a little enhancement on there. That smoke will really come out. But all I'm doing is trying to get a really good look on all these athletes. Okay. And as soon as I have that good look, then I put the smoke on there for them. Okay. All right. Now, this is a good example right here. See this athlete here, his head's up. All right. He looks good, but we want him looking a little bit fierce. So we just tilt that head down, eyes up a touch, and he has a totally different look. Okay. So we just really concentrate. This is a good thing for you to do, is to get another station. If you have those extra lights, like I said, if you bought extra lights to do a cool team photo, then you can set up another station for individual photos. And this is just the best way to increase your sales really quickly. It's different. It's just, you have to have the staff and the lights for it. But if you do, it's really good. Even if you don't, okay, let's say this is just one team here. Let me see. Again, this is a same style thing that we did for these kids. And what I would do is I would take one test image, get it just right, and then do the regular photo. Again, these are out of the camera. This is not edited yet. Okay. I did give them, this is one team. I gave each player 2 poses in the dugout. Then I went out in the field and gave them 2 poses. Okay. So I'll have my photos look like, I want to nail, my goal is to nail one good image inside the dugout that the parents are going to get. Then we took them outside and we had them 2 quick poses out there. So with this team, I spent about 50 minutes with them. I got 2 individual photos in the dugout with some smoke and lights and effects, and then 2 out on the field. And we did the team shots, and each one of these teams are they're all in with the banners and all that sort of stuff. They're like over, the Crane didn't give you the exact numbers, but I think they're between $1,500 and $2,500 every time we do those teams. So they're very profitable. Even if it's just one team, you can still get really creative and do some fun stuff. And again, this is just kind of mixing in some of these trendy things that we're seeing online inside of your photo shoots. And I showed you one way to do it with 16 teams, and this is the way you could do it with just one team. I took one assistant and myself. You have to have an assistant. Okay, do this. You need somebody to do the smoke. And you don't want to you can have a coach or a player do it, but you work way faster with having an assistant out there helping you move lights around and being really quick. Okay, so these lights those were just mag mods there with the Magmar gels. That's a really kind of cool system. That's I think I shot with the Westcotts with these. I don't know, but they're just some gels on there. Have a little atmospheric aerosol with you, and you truck it all the time, so you do some creative stuff with this. All right, let's see. Yeah, so this turned out pretty good.
Those are looking outstanding. Yeah,
yeah, and this outside, middle of the day. I wasn't sure how I was going to pull it off, but it worked.
Good thing there wasn't a big breeze, man. That aerosol fog dissipates pretty quick in a breeze.
Well, the thing is, it was windy that day, but I put them in a corner. I put that.
Yeah.
You got to put them in a corner where you have walls around you. And that kind of, that's something that you have to be careful with. We did have a situation where we had that one time this year was cold and windy, and I just couldn't get the photos. And it's like the only team I had could play in this year. But I was like, I tried to tell the lady ahead of time, we have 30-mile-an-hour winds tonight. Are you sure you want to go forward with the shoot? She's like, yeah. Yeah, that was a bad decision.
I hear that.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I want to go back to one thing, and your camera in that video, it's green, yes. Man. Canon don't make no green cameras. What'd you do to it? Wrap it?
We have. Yeah. So
I'm calling you out, man.
Yeah, we have a bunch of camera wraps on all of our cameras. So everybody has their own camera. So we kind of got tired of like mixing the cameras up. So everybody has their own camera. Somebody's settings might be a little bit different than the others. So we had to do it. I did not do it because I'm terrible at that. Like they have to get like a little heat gun and do all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of work to do that. Anyway, I just wanted to.
Yeah, no, but I think they look pretty cool. I like it.
It looks pretty slick. Yeah, I've seen it.
I
think they need to start coming out with different colored bodies. I think they might sell some different ones, but anyway.
Absolutely. Okay, so we are doing. Hold on, we have to go.
Yep, we got to go back to this.
Okay. Previous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, I do want to address this for a second here. The pricing of PhotoDay. It's how I just told you, like one of our board spiels is, we're self-regulated because we have to do a good job.
Yep.
Because we don't, then nobody's going to buy the photos. PhotoDay is the same situation. That's why we love PhotoDay, is because y'all have to do a good job in order for us to if y'all don't do a good job, then nobody's making money. So
right. We don't make money until you do. So that's why we do these webinars. That's why we're heavily into education, and we support the industry by going to trade shows, and we're platinum sponsors of, different shows and stuff, because we truly believe that the better images, the better you are, the better education you have, the more you're going to sell, which means we make more money. So
absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yep. And so that's why we're a big believer in PhotoDay. We love the way the system's set up, and really, we haven't gone back. Like we've gone up every year. We're increasing this year. So what we're doing is working. Like even, that's really when it all comes down to it, your customers are going to tell you whether or not you're doing a good job.
Yep.
We keep going up in sales. We keep increasing our average orders, and from one year to the next, we're increasing the revenue for each league. So we're pretty excited about the future. And a little teaser that I'm going to mention is that, and I've been trying for years and years to get PhotoDay to do this, is that there. I know we discussed a lot of different stations and progressions. But now PhotoDay is going to be coming out with something hopefully in the fall to where you can see all the photos that sold. So a big thing with me is I'm setting up these stations, and I'm hiring another photographer to come out so that way we can offer the parents more, but are they actually buying the photos? And you can do that. You go in and look, but you have to do a lot of clicking. But now we're going to have a tab that says sold photos. So you can go back and you click on that tab, and it'll show you all the photos inside of PhotoDay that's sold. So that way you can really dial in what's working. And I think that you might be surprised when you go in there to what's selling,
Right.
And yeah, I think
create more of what's selling. Leave all the other stuff alone. If you're going to waste time on certain poses that aren't selling, then
do more of what works. Yes,
exactly. Do more of what works.
Do more of what works and get really good at it. And so that hopefully that's coming soon. We got. I think Boatwright Bootcamp's going to be a while. So, but
okay.
We have some other stuff coming. We have some other stuff. I have some other things in mind to kind of make up for it. But I think I'm going to be speaking for PhotoDay at smaX in Imaging USA this year, and we're going to do a little traveling, spend some family time.
Nice.
Do some education after that. Hopefully, so
real good. Well,
yeah.
If anybody needs to find Jay, you know where to find him on Facebook. He's in our user group as well. You can hit him up there. smaX Photography, is it smaxart.com?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Want to go check out his website, join the boot camp. Next time there's one, I highly recommend it. Best money you're going to invest in yourself. So,
well, thank you.
All right. Well, it's good having you, Jay. And
all right,
we'll talk to you guys soon. That's the end.
All right, sounds good.
All
Thanks,
right.
Brian.
You bet.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We still live? Or we logged out? We're on air.
It says ending event. I always love these. We're probably off, but it's just finishing it up.
Okay, wrapping it up.
Yeah, it took a little bit to get it started. So that was good, man. I just wanted to call you out on your camera color.
Oh yeah, no.
I was like, what the hell's wrong with this camera? Why is it green?
I knew there was something else I wanted to say, and it was about the trap. I got that Lightroom